Hi, Claudia. We're still 2 minutes out, so I'm not gonna officially get started until we're right on the time. Okay, great. It is the time. Let's dive right in. If you cannot hear me and you cannot see the screen that says fertility formula, then please let me know in chat. I mean, of course, you're welcome to unmute yourself. Hi, Ellie. Glad you could join us. Um, if I hear nothing from you in chat, I'm going to assume you hear me and you see me. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to honor your time. My name is Anna. Tell you more about myself in a second, but mostly I'm so excited that you are here. So honored that you're carving out time in your day to learn about your fertility with me. What I'm going to be sharing with you today is called the fertility formula. So this is the four-step system specifically for cellular fertility. And I'm going to be talking about this because this is really what it takes to fast track your fertility to then move on to your healthy pregnancy. And my focus for you today is really going to be on the missing pieces, the ones that are too often overlooked by healthy women and by their doctors, because this is the information you really need to get unstuck, right? It's time to go beyond all of the generic, outdated advice, the things like all you can do is take a prenatal, or just balance your hormones, or stress is sabotaging your fertility, things that are not actually going to help you move forward in a concrete way. So, if you are with me live, I'm so excited to have you here today, and I would encourage you to share and chat. Share questions as they come up, share revelations, share your thoughts. I will absolutely be making sure to address all questions at the end. If you're not live, if you're watching the recording, you have my email. Just hit reply, and I'm here to support you and answer any questions as they come up. So if you're down to make this interactive, give me a yes in chat. Sierra, Claudia, Isabella, lovely. So glad to see you guys. Beautiful. Okay. So to get real with you right from the get-go, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I can just promise you a baby, right? Like nobody can guarantee a baby. And girl, if I could, I promise you I would. Here's what I can promise you. What you're going to learn today has been developed and tested and refined over my 12 plus years as a fertility dietitian and overcoming my own fertility struggles. I was sitting where you are. I was there 9 years ago now, and I was able to do it naturally without the IVF they said was my only option. So everything that I share with you is science backed and based on the real life success stories with over 300 babies made and counting. And so, in the next few minutes, what I'm going to walk you through is the four-step system that is going to fast track your fertility to your healthy pregnancy. So, these are the exact four steps that my clients use to get healthy hormones with regular periods, healthy, high quality eggs, to support a healthy metabolism and healthy weight that will all go on to support your healthy pregnancy even when everything else has failed, right? Like you have tried so many things, supplements, acupuncture, Clomid, maybe IUI, maybe you've even tried IVF. What I'm about to share with you has worked for women even when all of those things have failed previously. So let me be crystal clear about who this is for so you can settle in and rest assured that you are in the right place. What I'm about to share with you has proven most effective for otherwise healthy women who can't figure out why they're stuck, right? All your labs came back normal, your BMI is normal, maybe you even get regular cycles, leaving you totally high and dry without answers. This has proven effective for my girls with PCOS, or if they said it's probably PCOS, but you're like already taking good care of your health. You already exercise, you eat pretty well. This has proven very effective for girls who've come to me with missing periods, right? Whether you're recently off hormonal birth control, you know you have HA, you have no idea why your periods are missing, but you know you've already tried eating more, you've tried cutting back on cardio, and your period still isn't back. This is going to work for women who just generally feel like their hormones are off. Again, maybe because you were recently on hormonal birth control, maybe you recently went through a miscarriage, maybe you have no idea why, but you're seeing spotting, you've got a short luteal phase, they told you a thin lining, you're moody, you just know something's off. We can help you. Now, if you're my girl who they said you've got low AMH, I know what a blow that can be to hear. And whether it's due to your age or just DOR, or again, no idea why, please hold on to hope. We have helped so many women with low AMH get pregnant naturally. And if you're my sweet friend who has suffered one or more losses, we can help you move past the fear to do everything within your power to prevent another. So if this all speaks to you, rest assured you are in the right place and I can help you. So give me an emoji in chat. I just want to see a one emoji to express how you're feeling about being here and what you're going to learn today. So excited to see you all trickling in. Hi, Allison. Hi, April. Hi, Cara. Deidre. Laurel. Lovely. Hi, you guys. Don't be shy to share in chat. Hopefully the chat's working. If you're trying to share in chat and it's not working, just unmute yourself. And I'm going to move on. I'm also going to share very clearly about who this is not for, right? Because this is not for everyone, right? If you are not interested in healing from the inside out, if you're really not interested in digging to the heart of the matter of what's keeping you stuck, or if you're not open to new ways of thinking and challenging the limits of conventional medicine, if you are really holding on strong to a belief that like, oh, I should be able to do this myself, and you're really not ready to get expert advice, the kind of advice that could really save you so much time and money and heartbreak in the long run, it's totally okay and I get it, and I will be here for you when you are ready. Now, because there's nothing more important than this, right? Than your fertility so you can grow your healthy family, I want you to give yourself the gift of being fully present. Turn off notifications, put your phone on silence, close out of all the other apps, and just be here and get all that you can out of today. You're not going to want to miss a single thing. And when you stay until the end, I do have two really exciting surprise bonuses that I will be sharing with you. And this is going to include an opportunity to work with me, to get my help in helping you stay consistent and accountable with everything that you learned today. So, quick intro to me. I'm not going to go too deep here, although I'm happy to answer any questions. What's most important is that you know how I'm qualified to help you. So, I was originally trained in medical nutritional therapy at the Tufts School of Medicine and then in clinical nutrition research at the National Institutes of Health. And since then, I have spent the last 12 years taking every training I could get my hands on to advance my understanding and expertise in women's functional and integrative medicine. And then in 2017, that's when I founded Fertility Nutritionist and really have dove headfirst into ending all of the misinformation and the medical gatekeeping that is to like that's leaving too many women feeling dismissed and believing like your only option are these outrageously invasive and expensive fertility treatments. And I say treatments facetiously because they don't actually even treat the real issue. More on that to come. Now, beyond my training, first and foremost, my story is also like deeply personal, right? When I first started trying to conceive, I was 34, 35 was right around the corner, but I considered myself super healthy. I was a dietitian. I ate tons of kale and salmon. I was running marathons. I honestly didn't expect any issues. And then I took my IUD out so we could start trying, and like my period months later just like didn't come back. Now, I had spent years at that point already as a sports dietitian, and I knew that a missing period was a big red flag, not just for my fertility, but for my health. But doctors completely dismissed my concerns. They said everything was normal, I was healthy. Long story made very short, they said unexplained infertility and, sent me on my way to the fertility clinic for IVF. Now, my story does have a very happy ending. And every single day I wake up so grateful that I was able to pinpoint the underlying barriers. Because with the power of that information, I was able to heal. And these were things that the fertility doctors never would have tested for, but were very fixable. And then I was able to turn things around. I was able to build my strong, fertile foundation, get pregnant naturally, and baby number two came first time trying. And that's exactly why I am here today sharing this information with you, because you deserve to know how to do this too. So here's what I now know that I wish I had known then, right? Here's the real secret to my eventual success. A healthy pregnancy starts with well-fueled cells. Now, I know that sounds totally intuitive, like, of course, but in practice, most of us are going around without well-fueled cells and without the tools in place to properly fuel our cells. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why right now. And in my case, even as a healthy dietitian, by all conventional standards, right? I never even smoked. I was always a moderate drinker. When I dug deeper myself, I was low in B6 and B12 and zinc, omega-3s, magnesium, potassium. This is the short list, right? But the point being that these were all building blocks that my body needed to ovulate and conceive and hold a healthy pregnancy. Now, back to you, right? I want to take a moment to acknowledge that if you're like most of the women who come to me, it is not for lack of effort or not for lack of motivation. You are giving this your all, right? You have probably been researching and reading and educating yourself. Maybe you've seen a gazillion different doctors already. Maybe you're trying different supplements. You've tried cutting back on coffee and wine, right? Maybe you've even tried IUI and IVF. And after all that, when you look around and it looks like everybody else is able to get pregnant so easily without any effort, it is so easily to slip into this negative thinking of like, oh, there's got to be something wrong with me. I know when I was there, like I felt broken, right? And here's what I really want you to hear this loud and clear. You are not broken, right? The formula that we have all been given, what we're taught that we should be doing to be healthy and fit, right? Taught to us by like the omnipresent media, taught to us by our doctors, taught to us by our well-meaning friends and family. It's this one size fits all approach to health that is leaving us high and dry because it does not provide the full suite of nutrients needed down at a cellular level. We're not getting the building blocks that our bodies need to make a baby. So here's an analogy for you, right? Trying to get pregnant without each of these essential nutrients is like trying to build $1 million home on a broken foundation. It's frustrating and it's ineffective and it's fixable, right? So the missing piece is fully fueled cells. You are not broken. You just haven't been given the right materials until today. So glad that you are here. So, running with this analogy a little bit longer, here's the premise of what you really need to understand. And then I'm going to dive into the details of like how you make this happen. A healthy pregnancy starts with a strong foundation. We got that, right? A strong foundation for in your body, what that really means is at the cellular level, you have well-fueled cells. A strong, fertile foundation means that the cells have all of the materials, all of the building blocks, i.e., all of the critical nutrients they need to thrive. And when they thrive, they reproduce. I love sharing some of these success stories because it highlights exactly what's possible for you too when you apply this very foundational principle, right? So Sarah came to me after 2 years of trying to conceive without a single positive pregnancy test. All they told her was unexplained infertility. They said probably PCOS. Uterine lining looks a little thin. She had no answers. And by all conventional standards, Sarah was perfectly healthy. She looked good and felt good. She didn't have any other health condition. She ate real food. She cooked with olive oil. She did Orange Theory workouts most days of the week. And then when she and I dug deeper together, one of the nutrient deficiencies we found was B6. And I'm highlighting that one because it's very common for your B vitamins to be depleted if you've been on hormonal birth control for any number of years. And because B6 in particular is needed to literally make progesterone. So without enough B6, her body was not able to make the thick uterine lining that was needed for implantation to be able to get her positive pregnancy test. We identified the issue. We replenished her with precision and a good amount of consistency, and it only took 2 months. She got her first ever positive pregnancy test, and she has her beautiful baby girl. This is an older picture. This baby is probably almost a year old now. The point being, Sarah did not just get lucky. She refueled her cells with precision and consistency, and in 2 short months, it worked. Okay, so I know that you are a smart, discerning gal, and this is probably raising some questions in your mind, and I'm so glad. First of all, share those questions in chat with me right now, right? I'm here to address them. Again, if you're watching the replay, email me your questions. And, I'll do my best to address them right now because I know that if I were in your shoes 8 years ago as a dietitian, I would have been like, no way. There's no way I'm undernourished or that underfueled cells is what's my problem. So again, if you're wondering the same thing, I get it. And let me explain, right? So first of all, we know from the data that it is much more common than you might imagine to be deficient in a whole suite of needed fertility nutrients. This is based on a report from the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology, based on population level evaluations of what we eat as women of reproductive age in the US. And it found that we are not getting enough of the nutrients needed for fertility: choline, selenium, folate, vitamin A, B vitamins, antioxidants like vitamin C and E, omega 3s. You get the point, right? So, in over a decade now in my private practice of running nutrition evaluations on women, I see this true time and time again that women are depleted at a cellular level. And here's why. First, because of our go, go, go lifestyle. Like we put a lot of expectations on ourselves, and that's depleting. Poor sleep can be a factor. Intense exercise is a big one. I've already talked about hormonal birth control. And we're also undernourished because there are so many factors that artificially suppress your appetite. And most of these are what we would consider to be healthy lifestyle habits, right? One of the big things is that if you're constipated or bloated, not that that's healthy, but that it's very common and it makes you feel full before you've had enough. But then we all are being told constantly to eat more high fiber, more protein. And while of course these are good to some extent, they're considered healthy because it's a weight loss hack, right? It's intended to make you feel full before you get fully nourished. There's the hydration craze, filling your belly with fluid before it's filled with nutrients. And then, of course, habituation. And habituation, because under eating itself puts your body into a state of stress. And that state of stress further suppresses your appetite. It's a self perpetuating cycle. Morning time is a perfect example, right? It's when your cells have fasted all night and are most desperately in need of some nourishment, but you don't feel hungry, right? So are in a world where diet culture is shunned upon for a very good reason. But what has replaced it is intuitive eating, meaning you don't eat if you're not hungry, you stop when you're full, all very well intentioned and a beautiful long term goal. And I'm going to argue not conducive for fertility because too many women are still undernourished. So, these everyday facts of life are depleting your cells of the essential nutrients needed for fertility. And to drive this home, you can be undernourished at a cellular level, even if you're not hungry, even if you think you eat a lot. That was certainly me. Even if you're not super active, you're not working out, so you don't think you need a lot of fuel. Even if your BMI is in the healthy or overweight range, I see this all the time. Even if you have no other health issues or no symptoms of deficiencies, and even if doctors didn't flag any issues. So, to further explain, I'm going to do a very quick surface level review of what it takes to get pregnant. And this is basically at the most foundational level. These are the three pieces that have to come together for you to conceive. First and foremost, you need high quality eggs and sperm. We don't have time to go into sperm today, but that is definitely something we spend a good amount of time on in all of my programs. Um, you need to ovulate. And then you need a healthy uterine lining. A healthy uterine lining means it has all of the nutrient reserves like in abundance so that it can welcome implantation and then it nourishes the new embryo until the placenta can take over by the second trimester. So each step depends on an abundance of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants available at the cellular level. So let's drill down to the cellular level. The follicular cells in your ovaries, they need a suite of antioxidants to be able to protect the DNA as it replicates. And that's what protects chromosomal errors that then can increase the risk of miscarriage. The ovarian cells need consistent energy from total calories, but also carbs, proteins, fats, and all of your vitamins and minerals to have the energy to literally be able to fuel ovulation. Now, your healthy uterine lining, it needs the cells of the uterine lining need to be deeply nourished with vitamins A, C, D, E, omega-3 fats to encourage blood flow to the uterine lining, as well as all of your minerals. So take home here, these nutrients that I'm talking you through quickly right now, the point being that these aren't just nice to have, they are essential for every stage of fertility and healthy pregnancy. So I'm showing you here just a snippet of the hundreds of ladies who have all come to me in similar shoes to where you are now, right? Struggling with month after month of disappointment from negative tests, picking themselves up after devastating losses, and generally feeling like lost. What else can they possibly do? And they are each now holding their healthy baby. And for each of them, these girls did not just eventually get lucky. They deeply nourished at a cellular level using the four-step process that I'm going to walk you through right now. Here we go. So this four-step process that I have spent the last decade refining is built on, is all comes together in what I call Fertile in 4. And here's how it works. This Fertile in 4 system has an 82% healthy pregnancy success rate. That is for women 26 to 42 years old within 6 months of the program. And I start with this because I want you to get really excited because you deserve to have hope about all that is possible for you. and get even more excited because this doesn't have to be the long, hard way, right? What I'm about to share, the natural way, this can also be the fast way. So many of our clients improve egg quality, restore natural ovulation, and even get their positive pregnancy test in 90 days or less. Often, you guys, that's less time than it takes to get into get through the medical system to even get an appointment at a fertility clinic. I'm here to show you how simple this can actually be. So I'm so excited to now walk you through the Fertile in 4 system. This is what's going to build your strong foundation at a cellular level for your full fertility. Now, as we go through this, I want to make sure that you know how to apply each step to your unique situation, to your body, your needs. So for each of the 4 steps, I will be listing 5 red flags that will signal to you like, hey, this is a priority area for me. So I recommend keeping tabs of how many red flags show up for you with each step. And so that means after this class, you're going to be able to walk away with like a really clear sense of where to focus first, specifically for you. Now, obviously, I can't cram the full 12 weeks of content that I cover in my programs into this 1 hour. So, what I have done is selected a few essential steps, the ones that give women the quickest wins, and the steps that are the most common mistakes, so that you can be sure not to fall into those same traps. I'm going to start us off with replenish. So, this is where we're going to kick it off by making sure that you're getting in all of the vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants with your nutrition and your supplement plan. And this is so that when the sperm meets the eggs, your follicles, your ovaries, your uterine lining has everything it needs to nourish that new life. So I've already driven this home, but this is really where it all starts with well-fueled cells. And the good news here is that with so many healthy habits for you already established, most of the time this is not a major overhaul. It's often just a few strategic tweaks. And that's when we start to see really quick wins. So I'll explain more about how to do this step, but as I do, I want you to be aware of like this is it needs to be a focus area for you. So this is not all of the indicators. These are just the top 5 of 5 red flags indicating like you need some support in this replenish step. Number 1, if you know you have thin uterine lining, and that can show up as like lighter side periods. If you have missed ovulation, so your cycles are irregular or your period totally missing, if you have a lot of bloating or constipation, if you go around tired, if you're tired a lot more than you think you should be, right? You get 8 hours of sleep, but you're still dragging. If your libido is in the gutter, I hear that a lot. You are not alone. And we can really pick it back up with some good replenishment. So I say low mood as it goes along with low libido very often, but low mood can show up for you as either like feeling blue or feeling anxious. Now, if you're here as my girl with HA, you're here trying to get your period back, it won't take you any time at all down your Google search to find the recommendation to you've got to eat more and you have to stop exercising. Basically, throw some pizza and ice cream at the problem. Now, for some women, that is an effective approach to get your cycle back. But I would argue for fertility, it misses the mark because you don't just want more calories, right? You need to replenish the missing nutrients. You don't just want a period, you want hormonal balance. You want natural ovulation. You want to make robust, healthy amounts of progesterone. You want a uterine lining rich in like nutrient reserves. And that deep level of nourishment takes a much more precise nutrition plan. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, if you've been told you have or probably have PCOS or just general fertility advice out there is almost always centered around food eliminations and restrictive diets, right? You need to cut out all the sugar. You need to cut out even fruit, gluten, dairy. You need to go plant-based or vegan. Again, this misses the mark. It leaves women further depleted, doing more harm than good. So to truly replenish, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to give you some cookie cutter magic bullet because it is not one size fits all. And that's what's so magical about what I'm about to teach you to do and what I offer is I teach you how to figure out what's right for your body and how to personalize your nutrition and supplement plan, right? Because it has to be personalized and it has to be precise. So that has to start with one, calculating, ideally testing what are your unique nutrient needs, and then consistency. Very important here. I did not say perfection. I said consistency. That's all it takes. Patty is a beautiful example of how impactful this replenish step can be because she came to me after years of trying to conceive. She had done IUI, IVF had failed. And by the time she came to me, she had not even had a period in over 6 months. And she was frustrated because she'd been doing her research. She'd been trying to eat more, exercise less. She was trying to do all the right things. But at that point, she had gained weight and still wasn't pregnant and wasn't even ovulating, right? Um, and ultimately, what we found was that she was depleted at a cellular level. Even though she loved good food, she was not eating enough of the right foods consistently. And so within just 3 months of putting her on the right nutrition plan for her, she got her period back. And then the very next cycle, she got pregnant. And I just chatted with her the other day, and she's now gearing up for baby number two. And again, I share stories like this because it's so important to keep in mind that this is exactly what's possible for you too, right? Sarah had struggled to conceive for 2 years without answers. Patty had already undergone failed IVF, and this approach has worked for them. So Patty did not need IVF. She needed to replenish. Now, your next step is to recharge. So, replenish is where we're making sure you're getting in all of the vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. Oops, I didn't mean to skip ahead. The next steps, 2 through 4, this is where we're going to plug the drain of depletion. This is where we're going to slow the rate of nutrient depletion from your cells, starting with what I call recharge. And this means energizing your cells with the right balance of exercise, balanced with the right amount of rest and recovery. So, despite, so much messaging all around us that with exercise, more is always better, always move more, overexertion is one of the fastest tracks to cellular depletion because exercise is inherently inflammatory, right? And so recovery is all about bringing down that inflammation. And this applies whether it's cardio or strength training. It is very nutrient intensive to bring down the inflammation post exercise using a lot of the same nutrients, zinc, vitamin D, your B vitamins, iron, etc., that you also need to be able to grow healthy eggs and to ovulate for your uterine lining. I keep going back to those three pieces of your reproductive anatomy that need the nourishment, right? Um, I don't want to go too far to any extreme though, right? Like I'm not going to stand here and say don't exercise at all. That would be crazy town. Because exercise is so beneficial, right? It is beneficial for your mental health. It makes you feel good. Um, and on a cellular level, it absolutely can support your fertility when it's done in a balanced way. So, if you haven't heard yet about mitochondria, let me be the first to introduce you to these mighty organelles that live inside your cells, and they are literally the battery pack. They create the energy that fuels all of the processes that happen in your cells. And get this, your ovaries have more mitochondria. I'm sorry, the cells in your ovaries, your oocytes, have more mitochondria than any other cell in your entire body because this process of follicular development and ovulation is so incredibly energy intensive. Now, exercise is a really powerful way to boost mitochondrial health, to literally create the cellular energy that is going to fuel healthy eggs and natural ovulation. So, recharge is where we're going to strike that sweet spot, that sweet balance between movement and rest, so that you're recharging your battery and balancing that with enough rest and recovery that you're not causing that you're not letting this cellular energy drain away. So here's some 5 red flags. Again, this isn't everything. These are just the top most common ones that I see that recharge needs to be a focus area for you on your fertility journey. So again, missing periods, whether that's showing up as like they're just not showing up at all, if they're irregular, if you're seeing spotting between cycles, if you're getting a lot of injuries or illness, if you catch every cold that goes around, prolonged soreness, if you struggle to recover post exercise, if you're not getting stronger, meaning you are doing some strength training, but you're not seeing gains, you're not able to actually get stronger. And constant cravings is a big one, whether you're craving your salty snacks or your sweet snacks. Essentially, if your cells are depleted, you're never going to get satisfied. You're going to be constantly craving more energy. And these are all signs, not that you're broken, but that your routine definitely needs more balance. Your batteries are running on empty and you need to recharge. So again, even if you have HA, I am not going to recommend that you cut out all movement. And I certainly don't believe you need to choose between your hormone health and your fitness. You can recharge and stay strong and maintain all of the fitness that you've worked so hard for. But that isn't going to happen if you're following too many of the like popular fitness crazes right now. CrossFit, Peloton workouts, HIIT, Orange Theory, F45. These are what's going to drain your cellular reserves. And just like with the replenish step, when it comes to recharging your battery, there really isn't a one size fits all. What we need to do is look at your unique hormone profile and then tailor the exercise routine and the rest and the recovery, to your specific hormone needs. That's what the recharge step is all about. Tamara is a beautiful example of this. She came to me when she had just stopped hormonal birth control and it had been over 3 months, but still no period back. So she goes to her doctor and her doctor's like, oh, it's PCOS. And you need to just lose some weight, right? You need to exercise more and eat less. This like turns my stomach every time I share this story. Because if her doctor had taken just a moment to ask Tamara any questions about her lifestyle, you guys, Tamara was waking up at 5 a.m. day after day doing her HIIT exercises. She was tracking every calorie. She was eating like a tiny little bird. She did not need to exercise more and eat less, no matter what body size she came to the doctor with, right? There's too many surface level assumptions happening. So when Tamara came to me, we worked on refueling her cells and recharging her battery, giving her more rest and recovery so that she wasn't losing her her cells weren't getting so depleted. And it only took 2 months. She ovulated and got pregnant right away and is now the mama of a healthy, beautiful boy. So even with PCOS, she did not need more exercise. She needed to recharge. The third step is what we call reset. Now, this means resetting your nervous system to minimize the impact of stress. Now, for most women on a fertility journey, this is the most overlooked the most overlooked step because so many women are just trying to manage their stress, just trying to stress less, just get rid of it, just be calm. But as you're going to learn in a minute, you can't just get rid of your stress. We have to rewire how your nervous system responds to that stress so it doesn't take such a toll on your system. So the two most common scenarios that I encounter are you're like, a high achieving, very disciplined gal. You do a good, everything you do it well, and you don't actually feel stressed. You're like living your life. You've got an active social life. You've got an active career. You feel fine. Or B, you do struggle with a lot of anxiety. Maybe it keeps you up at night. Maybe it's like robbing your joy in your life because you're always battling this anxiety. Either way, your nervous system gets stuck in what's called fight or flight. Now, this is a natural survival mechanism, no doubt, that has served you well at some point in your life. But now that you're trying to conceive, this nervous system wiring is what can drive deeper cellular depletion. So, whether you feel stressed out or not, what we know is that the demands of modern life make your adrenal glands work harder. Your adrenal glands produce cortisol to govern your stress response, right? And the greater the demand on your adrenal glands, the more they burn through critical fertility nutrients, your magnesium, your vitamin C, your B vitamins, etc. And the result, you guessed it, cellular depletion. So here's your 5 red flags to take note of if this is a focus area for you. Again, irregular or missing cycles. And this is not a coincidence. This is the first red flag in each of these, right? When cells are depleted, it's your reproductive health that's the first to take a hit, almost always. Low progesterone, so whether that's showing up as spotting, a short luteal phase, or you're just not conceiving, or early losses. If you're feeling irritable and don't even really know why, there's no good reason, you're just kind of moody and irritable. If you're wired but tired, so basically you go around tired all day long, but then it's time for bed and boo, you're wide awake, or really any sleep issues, waking up in the middle of the night, it's a big red flag that your nervous system needs your attention. And belly fat that won't budge, right? So no matter what you do with your nutrition, your exercise, you're holding on to reserves around your abdominal region because that's what your body thinks it needs to do to stay safe. So if I asked you, what do you do to manage your stress? And you were to tell me, well, I like to exercise. If so, I mean, you're not wrong, right? This is exactly what you were told to do. We are bombarded with the like more exercise, more exercise, more exercise, right? And it does have benefits. It's just that it needs to be better balanced. You need more tools in your toolbox in addition to the exercise to actually rewire your nervous system and prevent the cellular depletion. Now, I'm not going to say just go take a vacation or again, just stress less as though it's like some light switch you can turn off. And girl, as much as I love a good binge Netflix night, again, that's not what's going to rewire your nervous system. Yeah, maybe it feels relaxing in the moment, but we need deeper level tools. And again, I'm not going to just say, oh, let's go add some more massages and manicures onto your like already crazy long to-do list, as though you can just self-care your stress away. True nervous system support is not just adding self-care to your to-do list. Again, this is about rewiring how your body responds to stress. So again, you're going to hear me say this a lot. Guess what? There's no one size fits all here. We need to build your toolbox of strategies that work for your unique nervous system that are going to rewire out of fight or flight and into what's known as rest and digest, but I call it rest and reproduce, right? Where I'm not going to tell you you just have to always be calm, especially when you're facing something as stressful as a fertility journey, but that when you're faced with the realities of your life, stress doesn't take such a toll. So your adrenals don't have to work so hard and burn through so much of your precious nutrient reserves. Um, and this step, again, it takes some trial and error to find out what works best for you. But that doesn't have to take a long time, right? We have a toolbox of strategies that we offer. And as a group, we go through them one by one, trying them on for size until you're equipped with like, okay, I know what works for me. This was a really powerful step for Christy. She came to me, another example of classic unexplained infertility because she was so healthy. She was tracking all of her macros. She was strength training at 5 a.m. But she had suffered 2 losses, totally unexplained. Nobody gave her any information why or what she could do differently. They said the next step was IVF, and she just felt so strongly in her bones that she could do this naturally. So when she came to me, we did find a number of signs of cellular depletion. She had some pretty significant gut health issues going on. Sleep was disrupted. She had a lot of anxiety, chronic headaches. And I know that all sounds like a lot, but the point is that it all really boils down to the same root cause. She was depleted at a cellular level. And when we fully refueled, that's when her fertility bounced back. That's when she was able to get pregnant and stay pregnant. And she is now struggling, snuggling her beautiful baby boy. She did not need IVF. She needed to refuel at the cellular level. So, last but definitely not least, the fourth step to building your strong, fertile foundation at a cellular level is renew. And this is where you renew your routines to reduce exposure to chemicals that can disrupt your hormones and damage your egg quality. This is really about providing the deepest level of protection at the cellular level from any possible toxins that could be causing damage. Now, rest assured, I am not here to overwhelm you with every scary toxin out there. You maybe already read it starts with an egg. You probably already know enough to feel anxious, right? And we can't just totally ignore this piece, right? Because it is so foundational to your fertility, your healthy pregnancy, and your future baby's health. So, what we need to do is really protect your cells from the toxins. So, a quick overview of why this matters so much. In the US, there are tens of thousands of chemicals lurking all around us. It's in our makeup, it's in our cleaning products, it's on our food, it's in our water, it's in our feminine hygiene products that we put next to our most sensitive lady products. It's very quickly scary and very quickly overwhelming. And the reason we care so much is because all of these chemicals produce something called free radicals. And these are the bad guys. They come in and literally damage the genetic material. They damage the DNA. And this is what is, the root cause of so many chromosomal abnormalities that increase risk of miscarriage. So to see a real visual of what this could look like, this is what a healthy cell looks like. And then as it gets exposed to the oxidative stress from the free radicals, it becomes a shriveled up little raisin. Here are a few red flags that may indicate this needs to be a focus area for you. I didn't write this here, but if you have never researched the product safety of like the products you use on a daily basis on your skin, in cleaning your laundry, your kitchen, that needs to be top priority. And then some symptoms that might show up, or if you struggle a lot with like allergies, seasonal allergies, or food allergies or asthma, if you're seeing skin issues flare up, eczema, rosacea, acne, or you struggle a lot with constipation, these all indicate that your detox pathways are clogged. And that means you're not actually able to naturally get rid of the toxins you're exposed to as efficiently as we would want you to. And so, all the more reason you need to be a little bit more extra careful, and we need to get these detox pathways operating optimally again. Another indicator would be if you're my gal with really heavy periods, a lot of cramping, a lot of clotting, maybe very tender breasts. A lot of the toxins are estrogen mimicking, and these are signs of excess estrogen. And my friend, if you have suffered multiple losses, you have not done anything wrong. Please don't take this as an excuse to blame yourself because most losses are completely unavoidable in your body's natural protection. And going forward, this is a place that you can really focus on that because it is squarely within your control. This is a place where you can take control to make sure you're doing everything within your power. So, oh, rest assured, you don't need to make yourself like crazy and OCD, and you don't have to fear everything under the sun. And you definitely don't have to eliminate all exposure to all toxins, as if that were even possible. Let me introduce you to antioxidants. So, the free radicals, these bad guys, guess what? When you get antioxidants, they are your soldiers at a cellular level, defending and fighting off all of those bad guys. So, Antioxidants come from your food, but also there's a select list of supplements that are very well studied to provide cellular defense. And I love showing the apple picture because this illustrates so beautifully how this works, right? So this white side of the apple was treated with vitamin C, one of our best known antioxidants. The brown side was not. So it was subject to oxidative stress, the cells turned into those brown shriveled raisins. So with the addition of some good antioxidant support, you can do so much to defend at a cellular level from the toxins. And we definitely do want to focus on some smart swaps where we can, right? Like get informed, make some intelligent decisions. I do my best to make this as easy as possible for you with some really clear brand and product recommendations. I walk you through how to do it room by room, like what are the biggest bang for your buck actions to protect your cells. All right, team, we've made it through the 4 steps. Yay. And I hope that your number one take home from all of this is that when you are deeply nourished, your body can do this. Your body is ready to make a healthy baby. It knows what to do. And I love talking about deeply nourishing because, again, this is an area that is squarely within your control. We can identify what your needs are, we can identify where the depletion points are, and we can replenish your cells because getting pregnant is not a guessing game. This is really good news for you, right? Like all of the success stories that I shared, these are all examples of what's possible for you too. And I can say this with so much confidence because I've been doing this now for over a decade and have helped hundreds of women. Women like Daisy, pictured here, she came to me multiple failed rounds of IVF. She had PCOS and endometriosis and now has her beautiful baby girl. So I've learned that we do have a repeatable, proven process that can put you in control of your fertility journey. And this is where I get to be the most exciting part of this whole talk is where I get to invite you to take the next step with me into fertile foundations. Now, this is the 90-day fertility roadmap where what we just covered, that's exactly what you need to do. Now we get to dive deeper into how you do it and how you personalize it to your unique situation. And Fertile Foundations is where all of that happens. This is my fully supported 90-day group coaching program to help you tailor each step to your unique needs. And I'm there to help keep you on track, provide the support, the accountability, me and the community of women in it with you. Okay, so I promised you 2 bonuses at the very beginning, and those are coming. I just want to offer you the opportunity to either take a picture of this QR code or use this URL, tinyurl.com/fertile foundations. If you want to pull up the site about fertile foundations and start learning more, right? If you're like, yes, this is exactly what I've been looking for, I don't want you to have to wait another minute. And this is also the part where I'm going to invite you to work with me, right? So I'm going to share some bonuses and then I'm going to share a lot more details about exactly what Fertile Foundations is, how you start implementing everything that you just learned. So this is the most exciting of all of the bonuses. Y'all, I'm giving you this for 50% off. If you join Fertile Foundations in the next 48 hours, you're getting this at half price. So you're like, how much is half price? So I typically offer this program for $797. I'm giving it to you at $397, almost $400 savings. And I want you to be really clear about why I'm doing this because it is to save you money, but so much else, right? I want to really encourage you to take quick action because the sooner you start, the more power you have to prevent worsening fertility issues, right? The sooner you take action, the more control over you have over the outcome of your fertility journey, right? This program really attracts women who are action takers, who are ready to dive in, who are eager to take control. And this is very much for women who, if you are like done guessing, you're tired of Googling, and you're ultimately tired of like grieving another month of negatives, whether that's negative ovulation strips or negative pregnancy tests. Choosing fertile foundations, if you do so in the next 48 hours, it's not just a savvy money move. This is a bold yes, right? To you, your body, understanding your hormones and doing everything within your power to make your future fertile. So do this. Here's how to jump in. In the next 48 hours, you'll lock in your 50% discount, and really get the support in place that you need to stay on track with everything that you just learned when you're starting to implement this four-step system. But that's not all I have for you. There's more. For the first 5 people who join, I am offering a gift of calculating custom nutrition targets for you. This is $147 is what I typically charge for this. I'll be giving it to you for free. And what this means is, to be very clear, in Fertile Foundations, I guide you through exactly how to figure out what you need to be eating for you. What's for dinner? How much protein do I need? All of that good stuff. But if you want a third-party set of eyes to do the calculations for you, and then you'll track your food in my private app, and I will be there to provide real-time feedback. So if you want that like reassurance of the third-party set of eyes, like, encouraging you, helping you troubleshoot, that's what I'm gifting to the first 5 gals who join. At the end of the day, you're here because this is an investment with a priceless ROI. There's no way you can actually put a number on this, right? This is about your confidence and your peace of mind that you're doing everything you possibly can to make a healthy baby. Now, again, my programs attract women who are really serious about doing what it takes. And if that's you, this is really about to change your life. That's the most important thing. And I am so confident that this is what your fertility needs, that I have no problem making this risk-free for you. If you jump in and you're not 100% satisfied, great. I will give you your money back, no problem. So the details, the fine print, if you finish the first module within the first 7 days and you're not 100% satisfied, 100% refund. I don't want you to have to feel some stuck to something that's not perfectly the perfect fit for you. And this is about getting you pregnant, but so much more, right? What you're going to learn today, yes, this is going to help you get pregnant more quickly and easily, and how to have a healthy pregnancy. This is about preventing the risk of things like gestational diabetes and preeclampsia, having you so deeply nourished that you can recover quickly postpartum and then have the energy to thrive as the mom you're meant to be. So in Fertile Foundations, I have designed this to be your one-stop shop. Everything you need in one place. I will be guiding you through exactly how to replenish your cells with a precise personalized nutrition and supplement plan, what supplements you need, which you can skip to save some money. We will guide you through exactly what recharge looks like for you, how to strike that sweet spot of rest and recovery, how to match your exercise to your hormones. We will teach you the strategies to rewire your nervous system so that you can face stress with resilience. And we will walk you through renewing, protecting your egg quality at the cellular level with strategic swaps and boosting your antioxidants. Now, if you're like so many of the women who come to me, and I was there too, just like so bogged down with like, oh yeah, I know I'm supposed to be tracking my cycle to understand my hormones, but like, there's so many things, and what does it all mean? I got you. I make it all super simple. I'm adding in this mini course. It's a video-based modules where I walk you through exactly what to track, what trackers are most effective, and what it all means, so you fully understand your body and your hormones. I also love the food part. So of course I include 6 weeks of meal plans. Again, we are going to be walking you through exactly how to know what's best for your body and what to eat. And we include these meal plans as inspiration to help kickstart your success. So you're never left wondering what's for dinner. In this one-stop shop, here's how it's all delivered. I give you 4 modules to walk through the 4-step system. These are all on-demand videos, so you can watch them while you commute. They fit in your busy life. I'm providing hands-on guidance in weekly group coaching calls, and I offer unlimited DM support. I'm really in it with you. So my friend, I know that there is all the information and then some free online, right? The problem is like figuring out what of that information actually applies to you, who to believe, who to trust, and then how to, like, what is it that you need to prioritize? Because without all of that guidance, that's what leaves you facing months to tragically years. I see this all the time. Women facing years of trying to figure it out on their own when they could have simply invested in some expert guidance to fast track their journey. It took me 10 plus years as a fertility dietitian to really hone in on what are the most important steps and in what order. And I'd wager that you do not want to have to risk much less like months, much less years having to figure that out on your own. So, my sweet friend, if you are ready to have the full confidence that you are doing everything possible for your healthy pregnancy, your healthy baby, and you want this by next Christmas, now is the time to start. So, you have 48 hours to get the 50% discount, but either way, the doors close January 19. So, again, here is the QR code, here's the URL. I will also be following up via email after this with all of the links and everything you need. And we're going to get you on your roadmap to get your period back, to balance your hormones, boost your egg quality, reduce your risk of loss, and help you get pregnant. We're right at time. So I have a few FAQs I want to cover. I will go through these, but if you want to just like raise your hand or put me in chat, if you have any specific questions, I am here. I'm here for it. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. So I'll keep my eye on chat as I go through answering some of these for you. The first question that, honestly, people don't actually ask me this very often, but I can only imagine you're wondering because I would be, is like, okay, your program has an 82% success rate. So what about the other 18%? And there, unfortunately, there's not just like one answer. In some cases, the root cause of infertility does turn out to be something like a little bit more complex. And I often still consider this a win. I have a gal right now who came to me after just 6 months of trying, but we helped her identify both an autoimmune condition and endometriosis, which her doctors never would have helped her figure out. On average, it takes women 10 years to figure that out. So, although she didn't get pregnant as quickly as we would have hoped, we absolutely were able to fast track her journey, but getting her the real answers she needed that she would not have gotten otherwise. And pregnancy is still happening where she's right on track, just not in the timeline we had originally hoped, right? Um, it also happens all the time that women sign up, but they're not actually ready to fully commit. I say that all the time, and that's okay. Um, again, I want to go back to my promise at the very beginning because what's most important is that what I can promise you is that at the end of this program, you know exactly what's right for you and your body, and you have a clear path forward. You know you are in control of your fertility. You know what your body needs. A lot of women ask me, like, okay, so what if I am doing fertility treatments? I'm taking letrozole, IUI, IVF. Is this still a good fit for me? Girl, 100%. I'm here to help you get your baby. I don't have any one opinions one way or the other about how you do it. I just want to help you get that baby. So, what you're going to learn in this program can only help any of these treatments be more successful and help make sure that you only have to go through it once rather than multiple times. And let's see. So when does the program start? We're going to start the week of January 19. Um, I kept it that vague because essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the door just January 19. We're going to see who has signed up, and then I will send out an email with scheduling and find the time that works best for everybody for our weekly group coaching calls. Those coaching calls are absolutely recorded, so if you can't make one, no sweat, but I'm going to work hard to find a time that does work for everybody. And oh, this is my favorite question. What happens if I get pregnant during the 12 weeks? Because this happens all the time. And we roll you right into our pregnancy program. Easy peasy. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Again, I'm just so honored to have you given like that you gave me an hour of your time. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just pause and see if I can answer questions for anybody. Please feel free to raise your hand or just put me in chat. Oh, love seeing so many of you still here. Hi, Allison, Kara, Isabella, Karen, Samantha, Ellie, Deidre, Christina. My friends, if there's any questions coming up, I'll hang out. I see people dropping off, so I take that as that's good. I'll take that as I did my job. I answered all the questions. Oh, yay. Okay, good. Thank you, Samantha. Hop on in. I don't know if you're talking, but you're muted.
I think I just unmuted it.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
Okay. I just had a question about low progesterone specifically. Is there
Hmm.
any specific superfoods that are more ideal for low progesterone or lower estrogen or a combination?
Well, okay, I can tell you that for low progesterone, you absolutely need to have good amounts of vitamin C, vitamin B6, you need your zinc, you need your magnesium, you need your omega-3 fats, and I would encourage you to take a step back and let's first figure out why is your progesterone low? Because while we know that there are good foods that are supportive of progesterone, you it's sort of like putting the cart before the horse to just be adding in those foods before we figure out why your progesterone's low. So we typically see progesterone low. The most common science reasons are because your body is undernourished, right? Because either there's too much stress depleting you, you're over exercising, or you're generally under eating. Um, and then we can boost your body's natural ability to produce progesterone. Another important thing to think about is progesterone is produced by your corpus luteum. This is essentially the follicles in your ovaries that then ovulate. And after they ovulate, the follicle becomes what's called the corpus luteum, and that makes progesterone. So healthy progesterone levels actually starts 3 months ago when that follicle started developing in your ovary. And so the healthy follicle is the first step to healthy progesterone levels. That was probably more than you were hoping for. But I have a blog that's specifically just about foods for progesterone that I'm happy to send your way.
Sure.
Yeah. Here,
That's
pull
perfect.
that up.
Yeah, I do. They have, if you can hear me, they've done testing to figure out that I do have low progesterone and estrogen. And I do have a short luteal cycle. And when I do
Mhm.
get pregnant, the corpus luteum dies too soon, and that's caused me to have 3 miscarriages.
Oh, I'm
Um,
so sorry.
so I'm at the point now where I need to find out why the follicle isn't nourished enough to be creating the hormones necessary and why it dies too soon, even though I am pregnant and the HCG is rising to indicate pregnancy. It just
Hmm.
didn't have enough to sustain it. So everything
Yeah.
you said was perfect. It wasn't too much.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that a little bit of additional information, Samantha. I'm so sorry. I know like how devastating it is to be where you're at, having lost babies. And I put the link in, but again, I wouldn't necessarily just add in some superfoods. Let's figure out the root cause of why your estrogen and progesterone are low. So, that could be like looking at your pituitary gland. Is it producing enough hormones? Looking at your adrenal health. And then, my first thought, of course, is like looking at your nutrition and lifestyle to see if there's anything we can pinpoint there that's causing those low hormones.
And then one last clarifying question. You said you put that link in there. In there meaning the email you'll be sending everybody?
Oh,
Where
sorry,
should
in chat. In chat. Is the chat not showing up?
chat's not showing up. It says chat is disabled.
Oh, that's why nobody could chat. So sad. Um, I don't know why it says disabled. I see it. Okay, I will um yeah, well, is Samantha, is Peak your last name?
It is.
Okay. I don't want to send it to everybody because it might not be relevant to everybody, but I'll send it to you
Sure.
directly.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Anybody else? Is anybody else left with us here? Well, there's still a few of you. Are you guys hanging out just to see? Hi, Helen. Are you hanging out to see what other people ask or because you're waiting to ask your question? Helen, beautiful.
No, sorry, I'm calling from England and I think I joined a bit late because I got my hours confused. But
Oh,
I've been kind of on this journey for a while now, but what I'm really my hormones are increasing, but I don't know if other people are struggling with this, but I'm really struggling with eating more and not feeling hungry and like there's no hunger. I don't have any hunger cues whatsoever. And I was hoping the more I ate, the more that would improve, but it really hasn't. So I know that
mm,
I'm under eating, but I don't have those cues. And it's something I find quite distressing.
yeah.
Um,
It's so
so
wild. I don't know if you saw this part of the
yeah,
presentation, but I did mention that how like
oh, sorry.
under eating is a self-perpetuating cycle. It suppresses your appetite.
Hmm.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah, I just don't know. Does that ever get better? Because I don't see that happening for me.
Oh, yes. Yes, have hope, Helen. It absolutely gets better. We need to look at your metabolic health, right? Like if you don't have an appetite, my first question is like what's happening on a metabolic level that like your it's like when your appetite totally goes when your metabolism gets totally suppressed, so does your appetite. So almost always that's like in response to elevated cortisol. So we would want to see like what's increasing your cortisol that's then suppressing your appetite. Um, I don't find that it is super helpful to just force yourself to eat because then you're just miserable. You feel gross and you feel
Yeah.
bloated. And like we got to like dig a little bit deeper upstream to see like why is your appetite so suppressed? Yeah.
Thank you. I genuinely just think it's just what I've done all my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's just gone. But like I can function on very little calories, and so I am trying to increase them, and it is really bad. But like for
Are
example,
you
I could
getting are you getting a period?
no. So that's what I'm trying to get back.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We'd be honored to help you. We work with a lot of women who say the exact same thing. You know, they're trying to eat more.
Oh,
But it's not, it doesn't, you need more strategy behind just like eating more.
yeah, the doctors aren't great here, but thank you.
Hmm. Oh, good. I love it that you guys are chiming in and asking questions. Good. Deidre, am
Are
I
you
saying
going to
your
hear
name
me?
correctly? Yeah.
Yes, you are. Thank you. I just had a question, and I joined a little bit late as well, so I definitely could have missed it. But are you running any like lab? Like, how is it that we even like know where to start?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I have designed Fertile Foundations to be exactly that, lay the foundation for everybody without necessarily having to do any testing. Without having to do any testing, like, here's how you cover all your bases and basically like take an abundance of caution and make sure you're getting the most possible nutrients. If you want to do some testing, that is an add-on that I can do for you where I order some nutrient testing for you and then you can know. So it can work number of different ways where either I send you the labs and you have a doctor order them for you to get to see if insurance will cover it, or I order them for you directly.
Okay. And then if I am working, so I am like working with a fertility clinic right now, and they said that everything seems fine. Are you able to like review any of like their testing or just to have another set of eyes?
Yeah, absolutely. So that would be part of the add-on, especially if it's blood work.
Okay. Yeah.
So in addition to Fertile Foundations, I don't want to confuse people too much, but it seems like there's a few of you who this would apply to. I also offer a different program called Fertility Accelerator. This is where we work together one-on-one, where I do a really deep dive into you and your blood work. We order hormone panels, we order all the blood work. I often look at your gut health. Um, and we do like a really intensive, like, let's look at the whole picture, all the labs, order more labs, that kind of thing. So if that's something that's interesting to you, I would be happy to chat about it. But within that, when you purchase Fertile Foundations, there will be an add-on that's like fast track your fertility with labs. And so that would include me looking at all the labs that your fertility clinic has already done. And then I'll record a video for you being like, here's my interpretation of these, here's what else is needed, etc.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, friends. I'm going to take silence as no questions left. Thank you all so much for spending a chunk of your day with me. You all should have my email and probably found me on Instagram, so just DM me. I do this work because I love it and I'm here to support you and want to see you get your baby. So don't hesitate to reach out and have a wonderful day. Thank you.